Hello, and welcome to the introduction episode to Worth the Wealth. I am your host, McKenna Wallace, and I am so excited to be at this point. It has taken me almost a year to the day to get this done. I've gone through several names, several hiccups, putting this on the back burner, but to be here today, recording this episode and putting it out there is amazing. So I wanted to do a quick introduction episode for people to start out with to know what Worth the Wealth is all about. So I decided to start this podcast. Y'all, I decided to start it a year ago. And things got in the way. I want to air quote that because that's such a stupid excuse. I allowed things to get in the way and I did not prioritize the show. And next thing I knew, it was a year later. And we are here. And I got an accountability partner. We started keeping each other on track on starting our podcast. And here we are today, me recording this and moving forward with everything, with my heart so full, because I know that this is something I'm supposed to be doing. So a year ago, even further back than that, but we'll start at a year ago. A year ago, I decided to create a podcast where I bring in people who have stories to share about how to live a truly wealthy life. Because if there's one thing that bugs the living shit out of me, it is seeing online all these posts and all these comments from people that are negative and nasty that say, like, oh, we're all just going to be poor. There's no way that we're going to be rich. The rich is just going to get richer, blah, blah, blah. Like, all of these very negative mindset things that we're stuck where we're at as the have-nots. And I don't like that because it's not true. And saying that just perpetuates the problem and manifests that to yourself. So I wanted to create Worth the Wealth to be an encouragement and an inspiration to people so we can get out of that mindset. One of my favorite quotes is, "A rising tide lifts all ships." And if I can help someone who then helps someone else, who then helps someone else realize that all of us are worth so much more than the life that we are currently living, that's all I want. I just want to inspire someone to know that they deserve a better life. Because those who are gatekeeping the keys to wealth, they can't do it anymore. And we're not going to allow them to do it anymore. So in this show, I want to bring on guests from a whole spectrum of wealth to talk to every single one of us, myself included, and encourage us to live a better, wealthier life. And when I talk about wealth, I'm not talking about it just strictly monetarily. It's not just about how many zeros are in your bank account. It's also about your relationship with yourself and your relationship with others, romantically, family, your mental health, your physical health. And then we also are going to talk about investing and money management and that side of wealth. But I'm a firm believer that you can be rich and not be wealthy. And I'm a firm believer that you can be poor but be wealthy because you have a really good relationship with yourself and with your family, and you live this amazing life because of your mindset. And every single one of us are struggling with one part of that pie chart at one point or another, and it's constantly evolving. So I want to have a community of people where we can learn together the different ways that you can be wealthy and how to fine polish our lives so that we can lift ourselves up and then we can go lift others up. So when I came up with the idea to do the podcast, I didn't want to just reach out to people who had huge followings, people who had quote unquote made it, the multimillionaires. I didn't want to go after them necessarily first, because as great as a lot of these inspirational, motivational stories are, and you want to be able to relate to them, a common person can't relate to that yet. I'm not to the point where I'm making multiple millions of dollars. I'm like 2 steps ahead of being at the beginning. And I've felt very, very strongly that part of what I needed to do and part of what people need to hear is the stories of those who are only a couple steps ahead of where you want to go. People who have taken the action, who don't have to come down from the top of the mountain to tell you how to get up it, but just have to walk a couple steps back and be like, hey, there's a pitfall here. Hey, this is a switchback. Hey, these are the things you need to do to get to where I am, and then we can go together. Because to eat an entire elephant, you have to eat it one bite at a time. And that is the most exciting part for me, is being able to sit and chat with people who are doing the thing. Not someone who's on Instagram saying that they're doing something or feigning that they're these big gurus that can help you change your life when they're not actually doing the thing, they're just selling a course. I want it to be a very tight-knit thing where you feel like you can get to where the people you're hearing from are, because you know that you just have to do 3 things to get there. And of course, I will have bigger people on here. I am manifesting so many names already that I want to have on the podcast, because it is important to hear from people who are where you want to be in your long term, because it's inspiring and it reminds you to aspire to that. However, it's got to be from the ground up, and we can all go together. So I am very, very stoked to be here and to finally have it done. And the audience is everybody. I don't care if you came from an extremely affluent family, if you came from a homeless family, if you came from middle class. There's so many things that we can improve on daily, and there's so many different ways that stories can hit us from different people, that there will always be something to learn from somebody else, a perspective that you hear if someone words it differently than you heard it before, and it clicks for you. So that is really it. I just want to provide a safe haven for people to learn how to have a wealthier life in every aspect of your life. I want people to be able to tune in every week, and even if an episode doesn't seem like something you'd want to learn, you can still listen to it and glean knowledge off of people because you didn't know something from before. And I want to help people find a path that maybe they want to go down. Find a side hustle that will get them out of debt. Find a side hustle that turns into a full-time business and you can quit your 9-to-5 and go to your kids' softball games. That's what I want. That is it. That's all I want. So this is a journey that will not end anytime soon. And where I want to take it is so, so big. And it only can happen with the help of the people listening. So that's really it. I just wanted to do a little introduction to get the ball rolling. And I have to shamelessly plug the way that you will help me to get this podcast up and running is by liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing to all of the things. I am posting on Apple and Spotify. And as I figure out more things, I'm going to post it on more platforms. But thank you so much for your patience as I figure everything out, because I am starting from scratch. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm worth it, so I'm doing it. So you can follow us on Instagram at Worth the Wealth Show, and you can find the podcast on my YouTube, on my podcast, and you can find my handle on YouTube. It's McKenna Wallace, and it will be there as well. And I'm a broken record. I'm so sorry, but I am so excited to start this journey with you, and so ready to hear amazing stories that will light the fire within me, and I hope light the fire in you. I will see you next time with a guest. Let's start learning. Let's ungatekeep the rules of being wealthy, learn how to thrive instead of just survive, and lift the energy of the world. I love y'all. You are worth the wealth, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.